Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be how to get good at sales. Now, there are so many videos on this, and that is one of the most common questions that you get from pretty much anybody that has a business or even works in retail or anything to do with sales, because sales is just a part of everyday interaction in life. If you don't know how to sell something, it could even be an idea or a recommendation. It could be within your friends or family. You're always selling something, and someone's always trying to sell something to you, and people buy into those specific things. So selling is just the base component, the base element that you need to have success, especially when it comes to running a business, an agency where you need clients, so mainly B2B stuff. Most people that aren't good at sales, they hire people who are good at sales. You can do that as well. I'm not banning that out. I'm not saying you have to be good at sales. But the biggest recommendation that I have for anybody that is starting a social media marketing agency is struggling with their business. Take a look at sales. Take a look at how you communicate with people. If people are persuaded by you in a sales scenario, get feedback. If someone doesn't close, I remember when people used to not close in meetings, I'd send them an email and be like, hey, just to get good feedback, because it's a new business to me, could you let me know like any sort of constructive criticism, like pros, cons to how you felt the experience was. And I'd get feedback from people to see if my sales came up as an issue, how I communicated, whether it was clear or not, if it was the idea, or etc, because always getting an outside opinion is better than introspectively like sort of looking at yourself, because what you see and how you judge yourself is not going to be non-biased. So to really understand a situation and get a true grasp of how you come across in a situation, you need to ask the people on the other side instead of asking yourself, because you'll just make yourself go crazy. So when it comes to getting good at sales, I have been in a lot of different job roles, as most of you know. I've said it in multiple videos. I've worked in so many different jobs. Pretty much all of them have had an element of sales, whether it's been retail, working in, I'll even go through them. So working in a pub, first job ever, working in a pub, you have to learn to get good at sales because you want to upsell people, and people liking you is how you get tips. That kind of sounds a bit shady, but in a pub, if there was like a group of people that came in, I could upsell them on like the amount of shots or the different types of drinks that they could get. And when you upsell someone, when you help them have a good night, if they're enjoying their time there, they're more likely to tip or thank you for the experience. So in a pub, at social situations, it's getting people to get on well with you. Like we had a lot of families come in, so I'd always get on really well with the families. I'd get good tips if they ate there, whatever they drank, etc. That's first job. That already has sales in it. Second job, Frankie and Benny's, working in a restaurant as a waitress. That's all about tips. I was on £5 an hour. So all of my actual income came from tips. So whether people enjoyed the meal, the customer experience, like even if the food was shit, if I made them have a good time, they're not gonna punish me for it if I directly keep the tips. So you get a lot of people asking you, are the tips split amongst the staff or do you get them directly? And when it's directly, if you've done a good job, you're not the one making their chicken or their burgers. It's not my fault that the food isn't great if it's not good. Because I'm not the one like preparing the food, I'm just serving it, and I'm just making sure you have a good night and that everything goes smoothly. So that was all sales. That was tips, that was communication, being on the ball, being attentive to a customer's needs, and being there to make sure they have good experience. And all this ties into business in so many different ways. After that third job, Pandora, so jewellery, all sales, like all upselling. If someone comes in to buy a bracelet, you sell them charms with it. If they get charms, is there a necklace that matches? Is there a set of earrings? Is there a ring that goes well with it? Buying a gift for your wife. Oh, what other jewellery does she have? Actually, you know what? I think if you did a combination of these three things, it would look really cool. Just like, I don't want to go into specific scenarios, but every job I've been in has required sales all the time. And the way that you get good at it is by exposing yourself in many different situations and putting yourself in loads of different environments where you have to sell something, and that's how you get good at it. It's honestly just practice makes perfect, I guess. So I know that sounds kind of cliche, like a general piece of advice, but it's true. And the more you practice sales, whether it's not on purpose, it could be that you and your friends are going out, you really want to go to a certain restaurant and your friends don't want to go. What can you highlight about that restaurant, all the good things, how can you use what other people are interested in and what makes them happy and feel good to sell an idea to somebody. So it's all about framing and how you do things, and you can bring sales elements across personal, business. I'm not saying manipulate people, I'm saying be aware of situations where because you'll try and convince people all the time, you just don't realise that you're trying to convince a friend to come out with you, but say it's raining, they don't want to come, what can you do to persuade them to come? Like, that is sales. And it's the same thing when you're on a call with a potential client and you're trying to sell them a service and get them to onboard with your agency. That's sales. And the only difference between these scenarios is the environment and what you're trying to sell them to, who it is. But the element of persuasion, the art of sales is something that to fully understand and learn, you have to have practiced it in all these different places, because otherwise you don't know how to sell. You know how to sell one thing to one person. And that's the key, that's what I learned. After I did MLM, I thought that I was good at sales. I was like, I'm fully commission based, I'm making decent money sometimes. Like, I know how to sell to people if I'm desperate. I know I can go out that day and get a PB and sell to these people because I really want it. I can be on the ball, I can sell more of these like sign-ups for this charity. And when I left MLM, when I transitioned from MLM, went towards social media marketing, that's when I was so stumped and I completely lost self-confidence because I was doing cold calls and it wasn't working for me. I was like, why is this not working? Like, I'm good at sales. Like, sales is my thing. Sales is what I've always done. It's what I've always been good at. That's like my one thing that I've been proud of myself for. And when I got put into a situation where it wasn't working and my sort of career depended on it, I got so frustrated. I was so confused because I just didn't know why it wasn't working for me anymore. And the reason is because I'd never been in a similar situation to social media marketing, to selling a service to a client. So that's why I wasn't good at it. And if you're in a similar position, you shouldn't be hard on yourself because you don't know. Like, how can you be good at something that you've never been in before? You have to give yourself the time to adapt and learn and just figure it out. You've got to be exposed to that situation multiple times for your body to see what works, what doesn't work, and repeat more of what works and eliminate what doesn't. It's just your body learning, and the only way to learn is to make the mistakes and the errors so that you know not to do those things again. Then you try out new things, and whatever works, you repeat that thing. And it's the same thing with sales. So if maybe you've come from a situation where you thought you were a people person, you were really good at communicating, you get on well with everybody, you're super chatty, amicable, people love you, you get into like sales and you just freak out and it's not working, that's normal. You don't need to worry about it. It is just that it's new and you need to practice it more to get good at it. So I'm going to leave that video there because I don't want to repeat myself, because sometimes I do that. But I really hope this video helped anybody who is in a situation where maybe they're freaking out about the sales aren't going great, or they feel a bit lost. I just want you guys to understand that everybody's been there. Some people are more natural than others, but it doesn't mean that you can't learn. And my best piece of advice to you, if you feel this way, is to put yourself in multiple different situations as possible. See where you can put yourself, how you can start to improvise, how you can start to understand your body language, your tone of voice, the context, the words that you're saying, how people react differently to that, and just have an experiment. Just see what works, see what doesn't work, and just carry on trying, and it will work out for you. It's just, it can take a bit more time for some people than others, and you can find it a little bit trickier than other people do, but it doesn't mean that you need to have sales instincts built naturally into you, because that's not the case. So yeah, I hope you understood and enjoyed this video. Please comment below if it helped you out in some way, if you're going through a tough time right now in sales, if you would like me to do a few more videos on this, because it's a topic that I've not actually spoken about that much, and I'd be totally happy to run through the sales stuff, my experiences, what I've learned, and any tips, tricks and advices and anything that I would avoid, anything that's not worked out well for me. So yeah, just comment below and let me know what you thought of this video, and I will see you in the next one.